Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. Thank you for joining me for this continuing discussion on the Quran in dialogue with other scriptures and faiths. Today, I want to talk about pilgrimage. Previously, we talked about prayer, fasting, and charity. Pilgrimage comes logically next. Why is it that pilgrimage is so almost universal? Among the world's great religions, we see that pilgrimage plays a very important and crucial role. Let's see how important it is in the various religions, starting with the Quran. So I'll open the Quran to the chapter on pilgrimage, the 22nd chapter of the Quran. We read that God has prescribed for every people some sort of ritual. And of course, in the context of the 22nd chapter of the Quran, the main ritual in view here is the Hajj. So, verse number 67, لِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ جَعَلْنَا مَنْسَكًا هُمْ نَاسِكُوهُ فَلَا يُنَازِعُنَّكَ فِي الْأَمْرِ وَادْعُ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ إِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ هُدًى مُسْتَقِيمٍ. So let me read the English translation. It says, for every community we appointed a code of life to follow. So do not let them dispute with you, O Prophet, in this matter, and invite all to your Lord, for you are truly on the right guidance. So there we find the Quran declaring what we already expect in this discussion, that we're going to find similar rights in various communities, different religions, different practices, mainly with the same goal in mind. So what does the pilgrimage do? We're going to find out step by step. But let's look into the Bible to see what the Bible has to say about pilgrimages. In the Old Testament, which is basically the Jewish Bible, Christians refer to it as the Old Testament, it says in Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse number 16, 3 times a year, all your males shall appear before the Lord your God at the place that he will choose, at the festival of the unleavened bread, at the festival of weeks, and at the festival of booths. Now, these 3 festivals here are given in English translation, but we know that behind this there are the 3 important festivals that are known in the Jewish calendar. One is the Passover. 2 is what is called here the Festival of Weeks, that occurs 7 weeks after Passover, and Christians refer to that as Pentecost. And the 3rd is the Festival of Booths, or Sukkoth, in which folks resign themselves to some makeshift homes like tents, which they call little booths or Sukkoth, to commemorate the fact that their ancestors had to live in such makeshift dwellings. So the 3 times a year, every male Jew was required to perform the pilgrimage. Now, by comparison, we can just make a quick side note here that in the Islamic faith, every able-bodied Muslim who has the financial means to undertake the journey is required once in one's lifetime to perform the pilgrimage. We see similarities and yet some differences. But let's not stop there. Let's go to the New Testament and see that Jesus, on whom be peace, was also performing the pilgrimage. In fact, since he was a child. In Luke chapter 2, verse number 52, we read about the childhood of Jesus. And verse number 41 says, now every year his parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. So that's one of the 3 that they would go to perform the pilgrimage for. And then verse number 42, and when he was 12 years old, they went up as usual for the festival. So Jesus was 12 years old. He went up with his parents for the Passover festival. Hajj or pilgrimage is common to both Islam and Judaism and Christianity. We have seen already, and it's interesting that the word for Hajj in Arabic corresponds to the word Chag in Hebrew that describes the same sort of journey. I know they don't sound the same, but letter for letter, they correspond. So the Hebrew letters are Chet and Gimel, which correspond to the Arabic letters of Ha and Jim. It's the same basic word, same Semitic origin. But it's not the origin of the words that make the difference. It's the whole idea of leaving one's home and going out on a sacred journey, seeking the things that are pleasurable to God. Now, apart from these religions that we've already mentioned, we see that pilgrimages are famous among the world's major religions. In Hinduism, there are pilgrimages, and often it is to like one of the sacred water sites, like the Ganges River, where people may go and take a bath. We see that water is very prominent in many of the Hajj or pilgrimage festivals and rituals. In the Islamic faith as well, we have the water of Zamzam that Muslims regard to have some therapeutic qualities. In Buddhism, also there are some pilgrimages to sacred sites, perhaps where Buddha got his first enlightenment. In Sikhism, there is the pilgrimage to Amritsar, where the Golden Temple is, and so on. So we find that pilgrimages are quite universal. But now let's take a step back and ask, why is it that pilgrimages have this, you can say, universal appeal? When one leaves one's home, one's dwelling, one's business and preoccupations of a worldly nature and sets off on this journey, one is almost like a traveler to God. There is nothing else, no encumbrance, no distraction to take one's mind away from God. One is setting one's face resolutely to go and seek God. So I believe that makes all of the difference. Now, what does that mean for us in our daily lives today? We're not going to make the Hajj tomorrow. One is that we can make a lesser pilgrimage in the Islamic faith, which is referred to as the Umrah, that can be done at any time of the year, whereas the Hajj is performed at a particular time within the lunar calendar. Second, we can make a spiritual journey. It is mentioned that Guru Nanak said that the pilgrimage and all these rituals don't really matter so much. What matters is the spiritual awakening from within. Well, let's think about that and think about how we, in our own way, can be making a Hajj continuously, a kind of hijrah, a migration away from sins and from things that displease God towards things that please God. So we don't need to go to Hajj for that. In our own dwellings, in our own environments, we could be making continuously this journey, this Hajj. Now, let's end with some context here. We have completed 2/3 of the month of Ramadan. We're in the last third. It is time to double down and make the best use of these last days and nights of the blessed month of Ramadan. Let's make use of it in a particular way. Let us share the message from these discussions with our friends, our coworkers, classmates, and neighbors. Perhaps you might invite somebody for iftar. Invite them to have chai and samosa with you at night and share with them some of these commonalities that we find in the world's great religions. Tell them about the Hajj and how universal it is and how special it is to Muslims. Join me again tomorrow when we will talk about the inner self and how the practices of religion are meant to fortify our inner self, to enhance our moral and spiritual development. Join me again tomorrow. In the meantime, peace be with you and the mercy and blessings of God. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised 1/3 of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at MuslimMediaHub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.